Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Because I legitimately can't believe I'm making this video, but I've had enough people ask me this, and I've seen it enough times in the wild that we actually need to address it because there's not going to be any shade at all. But we need to actually address this because I keep being asked this. Enough people have asked me this. A couple people that I respect, and a few people that like I said, like content creators and good players have applauded it. That I need to set the score straight just a little bit, guys. So here's the situation. A while ago, a week, 2 weeks, I'm not sure exactly when, AP Gains, my fellow YouTuber and streamer, he made a video. Like he fought someone in territory, no, in JC, gosh, and he realized that his opponent had a way better roster. But he had better fleets, and so he just placed fleets on defense, and then he kept everything else. And he didn't even deploy a single squad, and he ended up winning that match. And good for him. He won. He won the match. His opponent couldn't clear his fleets, and he got the full clear because he kept all of his good stuff on offense. And so he won, and against a much stronger opponent. And so the question people keep giving me, though, is this a viable strategy? If you're just totally outmatched by your opponent, because GAC matchmaking is a little crazy at times. Sometimes you're outnumbered by 2 million or something. Like, if you have better fleets, should you just do this? And so first, I'm going to say this. AP Gains, actually, in his comments, and I'll link in the video description in the video, in the comments even, he admitted, this isn't the best idea or the best way to do it. It was just the way to be more dramatic, basically. And, I mean, that's fine. He's more on the entertainment side, and, he recognized his opponent's weakness and exploited it. Great. I mean, nothing wrong with it. The thing is, this isn't the best way to do it, guys. It really isn't. It's not the best way. And I think AP even knows that. So, like I said, no shade. People have asked me, like, oh, man, like, someone even told me this match. They were like, so I'm just going to deploy my fleets and that's it. Because, And I'm like, why would you do that? And he's like, well, AP did it and he won. I'm like, well, just because you saw it on the internet doesn't mean it's the best way to do things, like the best approach, So here's why, guys. All right, so let's say you do this. Nowadays, there used to be an exploit, and people have also been accusing AP of this being an exploit, which it isn't. It is not an exploit. The CG used to have a situation where you cleared one zone. Here, I'll go back to my thumbnail for 1 sec. You can see my fleet, 1 out of 2 in the thumbnail picture. It used to be that if I didn't deploy one fleet or one squad in a zone, that you could therefore, if I did that, but then you still couldn't clear my fleet, then you wouldn't get the banners for taking out the missing fleet. Like, you wouldn't get that. CG has since fixed that. You would now get your max banners, and cool. Like, that's wonderful. Yeah, so, now there's not much reason not to deploy squads, right? So you keep giving your opponent 69s, which I'm sure he super appreciates. He loves that. Fun for everyone. But here's the thing. You keep giving them you give them all those banners for not deploying. Like, you're not denying them anything. You're denying him credits, I guess. If you want to annoy your opponent, if you for some reason suspect that your opponent needs some credits and you just want to screw them out of like a couple 100,000, like, go for it, I guess. I don't know. And your opponent's like, well, that's cool. I still won, and I got a ton of crystals instead, which are better than credits. I can actually buy credits with the crystals. Anyways, here's what happens, guys. You only deploy fleets, and cool. You give your opponents all the 69s. They get max banners, the hard max, the most banners possible for each squad that you didn't deploy. And then you have to clear him, and if he places an okay defense, the numbers on the right show what is a more realistic score. I mean, maybe you're supremely efficient. I mean, maybe you get all 65s, you average a 65. Maybe you average a 66. I don't know. But you're not going to average a 69. You're not. And so you're putting all your eggs in the basket of you clearing fleets. And that's fine. Maybe you can clear fleets, but maybe you have the right fleets for it, but you crash. What happens if you don't clear their zone and you crash? Like, you're just screwed, right? I mean, if it comes down to neither of you can clear ships, you're screwed. You don't have any recourse. You have no option. What if you can't clear squads? What if you just packed his squads full? Who knows? I mean, you're gonna give him a gimme here, and he didn't have to work for it. You're giving yourself a lot more difficulty. That's why there's no exploit involved. Like, it's just bad tactics. Like, just put some Gear 8 squads down. You don't have to like sacrifice. You don't have to like put Darth Revan down. You can use Darth Revan for offense. Go for it. Like, put down your Gear 8 Phoenix so that Sabine can roll her thermals and maybe take out 5 banners when your opponent attacks. They probably can't full clear you for all 69s if you do that. If you just put a bunch of squads you don't normally use anyways on defense, you're going to give yourself some recourse to be able to beat him if things go sideways. So if you want to win from a tactic standpoint, just deploying fleets and winning, it's not how you do it, guys. I mean, that's how you do it if you're AP and you want to be dramatic. That's fine. Like I said, there's no shade. Here's the other thing. People are like, oh, crazy tactic, AP. That is so crazy, man. You outsmarted him with the ships, and it's like, that's been around forever. Like, placing enough teams that your opponent can't clear your fleets, and then you just clear everything anyways because you have superior fleets. Like, that's how Prevail Man wins the majority of his fights these days. In Chromium, where he's outmatched by 1.5 million GP, like, that's the lever I have, is ships. I have good fleets. I have 2 GT2 fleets, and so, like, the last week or whatever, week 2, that's how I won all of my matches. My opponents couldn't clear ships, and I was able to clear enough ground that I could beat them. Like, that's, and their ships. So, it's not like new. Like, having better ships than your opponent isn't a crazy tactic. It's just, it's a valid tactic. It's just not as well realized as it could be. That's all. People say, oh man, this is viable. AP beat that guy, and he did. Kudos to AP. Like, that is great. The thing is, he made the video. I mean, he's annoyed with GAC matchmaking, so he was trying to make a statement there. And people have been criticizing him for using an exploit and for like, I don't know, congratulating him for this brilliant tactic of not deploying. Like, it's fine. It's just not well realized. If you want to maximize your win results, you just place a bunch of Gear 8 stuff, or maybe some Gear 9 if you're crazy. You don't have to break the bank. So, I don't know, guys. You can probably just like taste my annoyance here. I'm not annoyed at AP. He did what's best for his channel. He's funny. He wants to do his own thing. I'm being barraged with questions of... I'm guessing he'd think it was funny how many questions this is causing me. Like, it's not really a headache. I just... After like laughing about it to a few people, and they're like, no, dude, seriously, like, this was a good idea. Like, huge kudos to him for like recognizing this huge flaw. I'm like, well, good for him for recognizing, like, that you have better fleets. That's pretty basic. Like, I couldn't just keep it going, guys. So, anyways, I love you all. I'm gonna sign off. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Chalky Milk, Xerath, definitely Xerath, prevails. Goodbye.